Good morning. Today, I want to talk about kind of the complications of transformation or the fear of being true to yourself or the attempt of being true to yourself. And like kind of just exploring the idea when you start to really embody and have the courage to be who you are or who you believe to be on a deep level and try to approach life in that way, you'll be misunderstood usually. You'll be People will project what they want on you, things that are outside of your control, because you're not playing the societal game. You're going outside the status quo, which means you're automatically making an impact by existing. Also, looking at this idea of transformation being something like you're becoming somebody different, I think it's more of a deconditioning. It's like you are transforming by letting go of things and people and situations that are not in alignment who you authentically are, who you believe you are authentically. Like, I guess I'm in this place of transition, which is interesting. I think it's beautiful. I think it's a integration of parts of myself that were lost and new parts of myself that have been developed, kind of coming together in some messy mishmash of a identity, and allowing yourself to go through that. And to be honest, I'm deep in solitude lately, from being somebody who kind of was alone, but I was with a partner, um, to being somebody who was deeply in community all over the place with everybody, really stretching my boundaries, to a place now where I see maybe a couple of people, and other people have kind of faded and are starting to fade. And I'm starting to notice the fade. I've been there before. Every time I go through some kind of change or development, people from kind of the past you will start to fade naturally. I think it's more important to kind of explore the idea of, do you hold on to those people? Do you try to do everything you can to amend and be with those people, or do you just continue on your path? It's complicated because of the individualistic society we live in. Um, the individualistic part of me would be like, yeah, screw those people. Move forward, don't look back, be who you need to be. And the communal part of me says, and the more compassionate part of me says, like, no, like, it's good to have a diverse group of people around you who are not just in alignment with you, who challenge you, who help you grow. But I think to get to that place, you need to have some form of inner strength. And to get that inner strength, I think a lot of times you have to develop in solitude, or as close to solitude as you can, and then go into the community and strengthen that muscle. Similarly to a boxing match, right? A boxing fight. A lot of I love to box. and even doing a shadow boxing where we're using boxing as a container for men to manage conflict. But in a boxing, you don't just dive right into a boxing match without any kind of training or experience. That just doesn't happen because you see maybe some viral Instagram videos or something of some person who's really confident and cocky going into a gym being like, I'll take anyone on, thinking that they have so much to offer because they've seen some films or they've like practiced some very fundamental things, and they get laid out um, really quickly, and it's embarrassing. And the fact that it goes viral is a commentary on social media. My point is, the arena of life with all the people and the community, it is the ring. Community, people. And if you go in without any training, you're going to hurt somebody, you're going to hurt yourself. Most likely, you're going to hurt yourself. I've been there. And so now I realize I need to do a lot more inner work on myself to be able to do that. And it's funny with guiding others to liberation and their own enlightened self. It's beautiful. It feels like we're walking through paths together. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think there always needs to be a communal element, but sometimes it doesn't have to be a bunch of people. So, if you got this far in this video, that's awesome. Because this is kind of where I get into it. And right now I've talked to friends and I've explored change myself. And a lot of times you have to let go of people and situations that remind you of your past. This is a lot of like addiction kind of stuff. Like people who are in the program in AA and other things, they know this, that usually you kind of feel like an infant a little bit, a baby, a vulnerable child with no community, no people, because everyone in your past is still using or still living that kind of lifestyle, still in that vibration. And you want to be able to develop into something new. And you're in a vulnerable stage of transition when you're what I call in the forge, when you're being forged into who you need to be. Developing that courage to be able to be who you are amongst other people and their judgments and their projections. It's part of the process is community. But first you need to develop a certain level of inner strength and practice, I think, non-linearly, in community, out community, in community, out community, like sparring, like just playful, just trying to figure out how this looks when it's faced by others, when it's observed. And like, to be honest, a lot of people are just not going to vibe with you. And a lot of people will be offended that you're deciding to take a lot of time for yourself and develop who you are, at the expense of their own well-being, if they have high expectations of friends or any expectations. I try not to have expectations of friends, probably from a survival reason, but also because I really believe in personal liberation and freedom and personal choice. I want people to be able to decide, and if I need something, I'll ask for it. I have to trust that I have the strength to ask for help when I need it and have the awareness to. But this idea, you will lose people the more you develop, and hopefully you gain some new people as well. But a lot of times you have to be in this long road of solitude, of kind of being in your own space, making a commitment to yourself first. Definitely, if that's something you haven't done, to become, to develop and understand who you are, and to have the strength and the courage to practice your own integrity. But yeah, personally, I haven't been social as I want. I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. And I haven't been really checking in on my friends. I haven't been, even if there's been turbulent things in people's lives, I've been kind of just sticking with my own self. And that may sound selfish, but sometimes we have to just pick ourselves first so that we can heal to help others. Sometimes being selfish is needed for development, for strength, to actually help the world and create change. That's like the benefits of individualism, is that you do discover truly who you are if you really dive into it. However, most people don't dive that deep into it. They're afraid of the parts of themselves and would rather ignore the parts of themselves and courageously be the parts of themselves they need to be. Mm. I like these videos. They're not popular, but they feel reflective, and I think the people who listen to them get something out of them. And it helps me step more into my authentic self and not have the fear. And even when I'm not in the social situation, at least I can talk to this camera and to this community and online community and be real. Practice being real. Using social media as a practice to being more authentic while feeling observed. It's interesting. Not really a social media fan, but it is a benefit. But I guess to end it off, just remember, if you're on a path of discovery or change or guidance, or you really want to become this person or this entity you're feeling in yourself, you feel these different archetypes all moving within yourself, just do it, man. We're going to die someday, and when we die, you don't want to regret for not fully embodying yourself and knowing about it. More people had the courage to be themselves, I think we'd live in a more honest place. It would be harder to lie, politically, socially, all the things. Just think about it and realize that you may lose people along the way, and that's not any fault of your own. That's just nature. Branches falling off a tree to let light hit spots it never hit before to help you grow. Not everything is meant to be here forever. I'm not meant here to be here forever. You're not meant here to be here forever. Death is not really what we think of it, you know? No one knows what happens, but we can observe nature and see what we think things have dead, like a fallen tree dissolving into the soil, giving nutrients with tons of life into it, a fern growing out of a stump. All these things that we think are dead are really not, just giving room for other life. So think of that when you're going through an epic change or developing into yourself and needing some time for solitude or discovery, don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about it. And if you start to choose yourself over others for your healing, don't feel bad about it. And even when activism and political unrest happens and you trust that you need to strengthen yourself because you care about those things and you want to fight those things in a way that is aligned, don't trip. Most people are not even thinking about community. If you're actually thinking about wanting to help the world and choosing to heal yourself to do that, that's amazing. All right, this is the longest video yet. Thanks for sticking around, all you folks. If you've stuck around, put a comment in there or something. I appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good one.